From the outside, everything looks stable. You are functioning, you are working, you are maintaining relationships. There is no visible crisis, nothing is dramatically wrong. And yet, internally, something feels flat. Not sadness exactly, not anxiety exactly, just a low, persistent emptiness, a quiet sense that something is missing, even though you cannot clearly name what it is. This is one of the most confusing psychological experiences a person can have, because when life is objectively fine, you feel like you have no right to feel this way. So you dismiss it. You tell yourself you are being dramatic, ungrateful, overthinking. But emptiness does not appear randomly. It has roots. One of the most common causes is emotional suppression. Many people learn early in life to prioritize functioning over feeling, achievement over expression, stability over self-awareness. You learn to perform well, to adapt, to meet expectations, and you get good at it. So good that you build a life that works on paper. But somewhere along the way, you disconnect from your internal signals. You stop asking what you actually feel, what you actually want, what actually energizes you. When you suppress emotion long enough, the mind does not simply store it neatly. It dulls the entire range. You do not just mute pain, you mute joy. And the result is not chaos, it is numbness. Another reason life can feel empty, even when it is fine, is misalignment. You can achieve goals that were never truly yours. You can follow a path that made sense logically, but not emotionally. You can build a life optimized for approval instead of authenticity. From the outside, it looks successful. Internally, it feels hollow, because fulfillment does not come from completion, and it comes from congruence. If your daily actions do not reflect your deeper values, a subtle psychological friction builds. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is quiet disconnection. Over time, that disconnection becomes emptiness. There is also the adaptation effect. Humans normalize everything. The job that once excited you becomes routine. The relationship that once felt electric becomes stable. The milestone you work toward becomes your new baseline. The brain adapts to improvement faster than we expect. What once felt meaningful becomes ordinary. So you look around and think, this is what I wanted. Why does it not feel like I thought it would? Because your nervous system already adjusted. And without continued growth or meaning, stability alone can feel stagnant. Another hidden factor is chronic distraction. Modern life leaves very little room for silence. There is always something to scroll, something to watch, something to respond to. Distraction can keep you functioning while simultaneously preventing you from processing. When you are constantly stimulated, you do not have to sit with yourself. But when the stimulation fades, the emptiness surfaces. Not because you are broken, but because you have not been listening. There is also the identity gap. Sometimes emptiness appears when the version of you that built your current life is no longer the version of you that exists now. You evolve, your values shift, your interests deepen, your priorities change, but your environment does not automatically update. So you wake up inside a structure that fits your past self perfectly and your current self poorly. That mismatch feels like emptiness. It is not that life is bad, it is that it is outdated. Another psychological layer is the absence of challenge. Humans require tension to feel engaged, growth, risk, stretch. When everything is predictable and controlled, the nervous system may interpret that as stagnation. Comfort is important, but too much comfort without meaning becomes dullness. And dullness often feels like emptiness. Then there is emotional isolation. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. You can maintain conversations and still never feel understood. Surface connection does not satisfy the deeper human need for resonance. If no one knows your real fears, your real doubts, your real internal world, then connection becomes performance. And performance does not fill emptiness, it amplifies it. Sometimes the emptiness is not about what is missing externally, it is about what is missing internally. Purpose. Purpose is not a grand mission. It is a felt sense that your actions matter to you. When your days are filled with obligation instead of intention, even productive days can feel hollow. You can be busy and empty at the same time. In fact, busyness often masks emptiness. Because if you stop moving, you have to feel. And feeling is unfamiliar territory for many people who have mastered functioning. There is also a quieter truth. Sometimes emptiness is a transition state. It appears when you are outgrowing something, but have not yet stepped into what comes next. You are between identities, between versions, between chapters, and that in-between space feels uncertain. So the mind labels it as emptiness, but it may actually be space. Space before clarity, space before redefinition. The problem is that we are uncomfortable with space. We want immediate meaning, immediate certainty. But psychological restructuring is slow. If you feel empty even when life is fine, it does not mean you are ungrateful. It may mean you have achieved stability but not alignment. It may mean you have built structure but neglected depth. It may mean you have adapted so well to expectations that you lost access to preference. The solution is not to burn your life down. It is to investigate gently. What parts of your day feel alive? What conversations feel real? What activities create immersion instead of distraction? What are you tolerating instead of choosing? Emptiness is often a signal, not of failure, but of misalignment. And misalignment can be corrected, not instantly, but intentionally. You do not fix emptiness by adding more noise. You address it by increasing awareness. Because sometimes the reason life feels empty is not that nothing is there, it is that you have not been present enough to feel it. On Self-Rewired, we explore the deeper psychological patterns behind identity, emotion, and behavior, so you can understand what is happening beneath the surface. Because when you understand the pattern, you stop blaming yourself, and you start adjusting the design. I will see you in the next video.